And welcome everybody to the SSL. We have some lovely Division 2 games for you today. My name is Brian. I am flying solo today. But we have Accra FC versus Sao Paulo, FC Kaapstad versus Inter London, and Montreal United versus Buenos Aires. Some very key matchups in this day today, as Accra and Sao Paulo are currently tied in the table with 10 points apiece, and then Montreal United is only 2 points ahead of them at the top of the table. So a lot of movement could be happening today, depending on the results of this game. Our first game today is going to be FC Kaapstad versus Inter London. Kaapstad is currently fourth in the table with 8 points and a -3 goal differential. Inter London is currently sitting in the bottom of the table in sixth place with only 3 points and a -9 goal differential, having found a lot of trouble with scoring. So we are getting ready to get right into it. Their previous games, Kaapstad last played Sao Paulo, where they lost 2-1, and Inter London last played Montreal, where they also lost 2-1. Last used tactics for both teams. Kaapstad ran with a 5-3-2 with a right wing back, which seems to be what they will be running with today as well. Inter London is running a 4-2-3-1, and it is a very odd, something I've noticed since joining SSL compared to regular Football Manager, is that we run a lot of odd tactics here, a lot of asymmetric tactics, which is very interesting. But we'll be starting off the ball with Inter London. And Dazlot will kick it forward to Letizier, back over to Millar, over to Megamind. Letizier Muffin looking to go forward, but it's going to be challenged out by G Fuel Energy Formula, the official drink of esports, which is a ridiculous name that I love so much. G Fuel with the throw into O'Rourke. Not going to be doing anything there. Going to get the ball to Donnarumma over to Savici, who's going to pass it over it's going to be intercepted by Larson. Kick back to Barry, over to Doug. Back forward to Larson, over to Gordon, to Lamp, to O'Rourke. Back to G Fuel. Here's up to Larson, saved by Yaboya, and then just kicked out of bounds by Ruma. Ruma, one of, if not the key player for Inter London this season, playing incredibly well. 8 appearances, 96% of headers won, 89% pass completion, 87% of tackles completed. Just a very key part of the Inter London defense. Megamind looking to kick it forward to Muffin, but it's going to be intercepted by G Fuel. Kick forward to Gordon. Gordon kicks forward to O'Rourke, who's got a clear shot, but it'll just almost look like a casual pass to Yaboya. Just picks it up. Going forward, we're into the 13th minute. Larson passing it forward to G Fuel. G Fuel passing it back to Gordon, over to Valor. Valor looking for a shot, saved again by Yaboya. Picked up by Lamp and saved again by Yaboya. So we are still at 0-0. G Fuel, one of the key players highlighted today for Kaapstad. They have 91% pass completion, 80% of tackles won. However, something of note, they've only won 56% of their headers. Fast forward now to the 36th minute. There's a throw-in by Kraustis over the Valor. Passes it back to Barry, over to Doug, back forward to Valor, over to Lamp, over to Larson, back forward to Lamp, fires! It's going to be tipped away by Yaboya again. Yaboya doing really well to cover this goal. Inter London needs to stop giving them all these chances. There's a corner kick. It's headed away. And we will fast forward again. Kraust is picking up a yellow card here in the 34th minute. And we go right into halftime. A very quiet quick first half here. XG total 0.76 for Kaapstad to 0.11 for Inter London. Both teams having a little bit of a rough time in their previous form. Kaapstad's last 5 has gone loss, draw, loss, draw, loss. So theoretically they should be on, due for a draw today. Inter London has gone draw, loss, loss, win, loss. That win being their first one of the season that came over Accra, where they won 2-0. Someone we haven't really seen much of today is Kazenga Lualua, the Kaapstad keeper, who has made 6 appearances, 1 shutout. I'm not sure if he's actually in goal today. I didn't catch that. We haven't really had Inter London get that many good chances to actually see the keeper today. Substitutions will be coming in as we get to the second half. Fall on the floor will be coming in for Scud Muffin. Looks like Kaapstad will be keeping their same 11 potentially. Here's a throw-in from Kraustis here in the 46th minute. Gets it over to Valor. Valor passes over to G Fuel to Kamavingan. That's good. Ooh. That just goes over. Here's Jerry Savici taking the corner. Over. No. That looked like it potentially might have hit off the crossbar, otherwise known as Inter London's greatest nemesis this season. That's going to be passed by Lamp, but intercepted by Inter London. Going to get over to Aloisi, over to Savici, who will pass again, have his pass intercepted by Doug. And we will go over, we're fast forwarding in this game, on to the 55th minute. Yaboya just takes it all the way out, but it's going to go right to Berry. Pass it forward to Kraustis, over to Valor, back to Berry, back up to Valor. Valor going forward, up to Lamp, back to Valor. Over to Kraustis. Kraustis back to Valor. They're just playing a little bit of keep away. Valor with the shot, though, that's over the net. That'll be a goal kick. Still nothing doing. Here's a free kick by Jerry Savici, and it's headed in by Gavin Millar. But it's going to be disallowed as just offside. And the goal-scoring luck for Inter London continues. That was a wonderful header by Gavin Millar. But the flag goes up, and we're still 0-0. Here's G Fuel passing it forward to Gordon. Over to Kamavinga, back to Gordon, over to Larson, over to G Fuel, back to Lamp. Lamp can beat Yaboya, and that'll be a goal. That one looks like it's going to be allowed, and Kaapstad will take a 1-0 lead. What a great pass forward. Good ball play. That's G Fuel with the key pass to Lamp, who had just gotten past, dives in a lot. And is able to just convert that shot. That's money. 1-0 here at 73rd minute now. Throw in from Kraustis over the Valor. Headed away by DeFleur. Looking for Lamp. There's Larson. O'Rourke, clean shot, but it's pushed over by Yaboya. And we have an offside call anyway. Going forward now again. 80th minute. Here's G Fuel with another throw into O'Rourke. Back to G Fuel, over to Larson, over to Gordon. Referee just kind of gets in the middle of everything. It's going to be kind of taken by Dives in a lot, but he just kind of chest bumps it back to O'Rourke. But good challenge by Dives in a lot. O'Rourke kicking it forward to Larson, over the Valor, just kicks it off a man's face. Savici passes it back to Yaboya, who goes deep looking for Aloisi, but it's going to be contested and end up back at the feet of Kaapstad. Intercepted by Donnarumma, though, over to Savici. Back to Ruma. Now we're going over to Yor. We're going over to DeFleur. DeFleur here is all the way up by himself, all the way back by the corner. Looks for the cross, Aloisi, and it's going to go just over the bar. That'll be a goal kick. Here's Lula taking it out to Berry. 81st minute now. Kamavinga back to Lula, who clears it out to midfield over to G Fuel. Back forward to Valor. Valor looking forward for O'Rourke. Not going to really find an open shot. Looks back for Kraustis. Kraustis goes forward, just kicks it into the wall of people. It's going to be blocked, and that'll be a free kick for Inter London as Kaapstad has drawn offside. Time is running out for Inter London. Oh no, there's an injury. Donnarumma, who we were just actually talking about earlier, being a key player for Inter London. Donnarumma goes down and will have to be taken out of the game. It looks like we are going to be bringing in King George III, it looks like. There we go. And play continues. Only a couple minutes left for Inter London to get that equalizer goal. We'll have 4 minutes of stoppage time, but it is just flying by. Here's Savici with the free kick, headed forward. Saved by Lula, off the post. The net moves, but it's not called. It's not called. That's not a goal. And now we're here in the 94th minute, potentially the last minute of this game. Here's Kamavinga, forward to Gordon, back to Valor. Valor just keeping it around midfield, just trying to find anyone he can keep the ball going to keep possession. Here's G Fuel forward to O'Rourke. Not even going to take the shot, passes over to Lamb. Lamb passes back to Kraustis, who takes the shot, but it's blocked away by what appeared to be Megamind. And that'll be a throw-in. We are now in the 95th minute. Kraustis with the throw-in to Larson to Valor. Over to Kraustis, Larson again. That's challenged by King George, but recovered by G Fuel, who will get it over to Gordon. And there is the final whistle, as Kaapstad will take this game over Inter London 1-0. So that'll put Kaapstad up to 11 points, which puts them tentatively second. Their best case scenario now, after today, is a three-way tie for second, should Accra and Sao Paulo draw, or they will end up in third, behind the winner of Accra Sao Paulo. They can't pass Montreal, obviously, but it was a very exciting game. A lot of opportunities that just didn't go either team's way. But we're going to get into it. It's our second game of the day. Accra versus Sao Paulo. Like I said earlier, these teams are both tied in the table with 10 points. Accra is currently ahead on goal differential with +5, as opposed to Sao Paulo's +1. Accra is coming off of a draw to Buenos Aires in their last game, where they drew 1-1. And Sao Paulo is coming off of a win versus Kaapstad, where they won 2-1. Going off of previous tactics, Accra was last using an asymmetric 4-4-2 diamond formation with a right winger, while Sao Paulo was using a 4-2-3-1. Accra looks like they're... Accra looks like they changed it up a little bit. While Sao Paulo looks like they're more the same. I'm going to be honest, I'm not the best person when it comes to identifying tactics. I usually rely on the color for that, but we'll do the best we can here. So starting off with the ball, Sao Paulo. Ibrahimovic, back to Fred, over to Ayodele, over to Stesenvits. If I butcher any of your player name pronunciations, I am sorry. Ibrahimovic over to Valvano. Iraq, we already have a shot 15 seconds in by Sao Paulo. About to cross the 3-minute mark now. Here's a throw-in over to Sinclair. And Selic, Konstantin Selic, that's a goal. his 4th of the season, and just like that, Accra is already up 1-0. Very quickly off the throne from Anshaw to Sinclair to Corleone, back over to Anshaw, and then just the header from Selic was just money. Here we go with another throw-in from Anshaw over to Rigmarole. Back to Sinclair over the Corleone. Accra looking to maybe repeat what they just did. But we're going to have to go through a little more effort this time. Pass it back into the backfield. Here's Snooks over to Sinclair to forward to Anshaw again. And that's another header by Druid, but it goes off the post. And 1-0, this will remain. Throwing over to Thesenvich. Going forward, looking for Abrimovic, but it's going to be taken by Yelwin. I'm sure I pronounced that one wrong. Corleone forward to Kimo E2. Up to Druid. Lots of contention going on here, but they find the open man back with Corleone. Back to Yelwin. Forward to Druid. Selic with a clean shot up front, saved by Rage. Ladiver is going to keep it inbounds. But now we go to a corner from Druid. Over the middle. Headed away by Mayhem. Here's Valvano forward to Kimo E2. Over to Yelwin. Valvano. Lots of just people around this area, but they find Druid, who's open. He beats the defense, gets to the keeper, and there's a chip in. It's Silver Druid with a goal, and that'll put Accra up 2-0. There was so much contention for these passes, and they find Druid, who is the one man that doesn't really have someone guarding him. Ladiver kind of dropped his mark to go after Rigmarole, and he just beats everybody, gets past Rage. It's easy as that. Going forward a little bit now, Anna Vieira picks up a yellow. In the 18th minute, that's going to be tried to clear it out, but taken by Snooks over to Anshaw. Thesenvich will interrupt the attack, and that'll be a goal kick. Rage over to Mayhem, over to Fred, back over to Mayhem, who's going to take the ball forward, try to clear it out a bit. I don't know if he was looking for Iadel, but Iadel was not ready for that. It's going to be just taken back by Accra. Valvano over to Corleone. Intercepted by Garcia over to Iadel. Iadel back to Thesenvich. Over to Newman. Taken away by Larac, but intercepted back by Sao Paulo. Going for another shot. Saved again by Larac. So clear it all the way down. Looking for Selic. Doesn't quite find him. Selic doesn't quite get there. But he still ends up with the ball anyway. Over the Druid. Looking for Rigmarole. Rigmarole. Back. Sinclair! With a thunderstrike of a goal. It looked like Rage thought he was going to shoot it to the other side of the goal. But realized too late that he was guessing wrong. And it was just unable to get back in time for the shot from Sinclair. And just like that, it's 3-0 Accra. We're only in the 21st minute. This is already starting to look like a runaway. Will it stay that way? Here's Antivier. Antivier forward to Abrimovic, and he just kind of yeets that into row F. That's a potential souvenir for a lucky fan. 28th minute now. Over to Corleone. Back to Yelwin. Up to Valvano. They just keep going back to Yelwin. Mayhem comes up with it. Ladiver. Forward to Anavier. Back to Ladiver. Back to Mayhem. Now just playing some back and forth, but we're not making any forward progress if you're Sao Paulo. You need to make some forward progress. There you go. You get the ball up to Newman. Newman's taking it up into the Accra side of the field. And we're back to Ladiver over to Garcia. Garcia back over to Newman. Newman to Abrimovic. Over to Iadel. Fires. Saved by Larac. Snooks clears it out. Here's mayhem off the free kick from Accra being offside. Sao Paulo really needs Pascal Anavier to show up. He's been one of their best players. 3 goals on the season in 8 appearances. 6.85 average rating. Ladiver, another one of those players. 8 appearances, 92% of headers won. 91% of passes completed. But he's also made 8 fouls. And Brimovic up to Adowa, and that's over the net again. That's going to be another goal kick. Use Stesenvitz to Fred. Over to Garcia. Back to Ibrahimovic. But it's going to be taken by Corleone. Back to Larocque. Over to Snooks. Rigmarole just kind of gives the ball up to Ladiver. Go all the way back to Larocque. Looked like he was looking for Ibrahimovic, but couldn't quite find him. Larocque rolls it out to Snooks. Over to Sinclair, Corleone, Sinclair, Snooks. Just triangle formation, go. Rigmarole. Forward to Selic, looking for another one. Beats the defense. Chip shot over the keeper. 4-0 Accra. We're still only 34 minutes into this game. Selic picks up his 2nd goal of the game. Just the distracted, what appeared to be the entire defense of the triangle formation. Selic just manages to sneak past everybody. And then is just chips the ball over the keeper. Textbook. Sao Paulo. It's going to be taken by Selic again. Taken away. Here's over the Snooks to Yelwin. To Sinclair. Rigmarole over to Kimoi 2. Fires. Saved by Rage. Rage has been a key part of this team this year. He's made 8 appearances. He has 2 shutouts. An 83% save percentage. I wish I could say it's as good today, but unfortunately it's not. Sinclair looking for the hat trick, but just a little bit too high. Just a bit too high. Here's a free kick by Druid. Over to Snooks. There's Ernest Snooks. His first goal of the season. And it is 5-0 here in the 41st minute. Druid with the free kick. Snooks just finds the header in the air in the middle of 2 Sao Paulo players. And this is just quickly turning into a runaway. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Are we going to see anything happen during it? Here's Garcia over the Fred. If you're Sao Paulo, you're looking to maybe at least get 1 goal before the half. Give yourself something to talk about at the half. Here's Ayadel moving forward. Passes over to Newman, but that's going to be just gently saved by Larocque. Just haven't been able to get past him. And we'll go to halftime. Accra up 5-0. Expected goals, 1.80 for Accra to 0.63 for Sao Paulo, but the actual goals tell a different story. If you're the coach for Sao Paulo right now and you're going into that locker room, I mean, you have to be throwing the water bottle, right? You can't just not throw the water bottle at this point. Like, you've completed 3 out of 18 crosses. You've had 6 shots to their 12. You have 0 goals to their 5. Like, what are you even expecting to do here? So we'll have our halftime substitutions. We'll see if either team makes any subs for this second half. $5-0. That's crazy. I can't remember the last time. Like, even regular FM play, 5-0 at halftime is crazy. All right. Jack Coleman coming in for Accra. Seth Dolan replacing Newman for Sao Paulo as we get into the second half. Snooks kicks it all the way back to the Rock. He kicks it just back to Snooks, up to Sinclair, going up to Selic. Selic sitting on 2 goals right now, looking for a potential hat trick, but not quite there yet. Mayhem forward to Dolan. Over to Mayhem, back to Dolan, back to Garcia, up to Anavier. Looking for Abrimovic, looking for maybe their first goal. They got to get something started. If you want to come back from down 5, you got to start with 1. You can't just get 5 goals in one go. You got to take it one at a time. But this half is starting to fly through fast. We're already going into the 60th minute, 61st minute. Here's Ayadel into Accra territory, but it's just going to be intercepted. Here's Selic over to Corleone, back to Coleman. Coleman over to Chemo E2, up to Druid, back to Chemo E2. Over to Corleone, Selic back to Rigmarole, keeps it in bounds, gets it back to Corleone, over to Sinclair, fires into the seats. Here's Rage out to Mayhem. Mayhem takes it forward to Dolan. Looks for Abrimovic, but is off target. Ends up hitting Snooks instead. It's forward to Ayadel. Intercepted by Valvano. Over to Coleman. Over to Thessenwitz. Thessenwitz back to Inclin. Over to Mayhem. To Fred. And we're just kind of moving the ball. They're moving the ball very well, but they just haven't had a goal to show for it. That's a save by Laroque. That was a very good opportunity for Abrimovic, but just saved by the Rock. Anavier over the middle, headed away by Coleman. Dolan recovers it though, brings it back to Garcia. Sao Paulo still on the attack. Over to Fred, over to Thessenwitz. I guess that's the end of the attack. No, we're back into it. The 70th minute. Idel. Taking it forward. I don't know if he was looking for Anavier or Garcia. He got Garcia over to Ladiver. Ladiver back over to Garcia. Over to Anavier. Forward fires. Goal! Pascal Anavier in the 70th minute gets Sao Paulo on the board. And that was a very unique angle for Anavier to shoot that at. But just gets it past Laroque. But there's still a long way to go if Sao Paulo wants to get back in this game, and not a lot of time to do it. Here's Anavier taking the corner. They need this. They don't get it. That saved by Laroque. He's going to take his time, taking it out. Rolls it over the Coleman, 2 feet away from him. Valvano. Forward to Druid. Back over to Valvano. Over the Chemo E2. Druid. Looking for a cross. Gets it over to Selic. Saved by Rage. And that'll be a goal kick. We're in the 81st minute now. Oh, and we have another injury. Here's Jonas Thessenwitz for Sao Paulo. Looks like he will be replaced with Kozuki Odin. '90th minute, only 3 minutes of stoppage time. Sao Paulo needs to get a goal roughly every 40 seconds from here on out. Which, when you've only scored 1 goal in 90 minutes, 4 goals, 1 every 40 seconds is a lot to ask. But Snooks to Corleone. Coleman, back to Snooks, over to Corleone. Going triangle formation again, up to Valvano. Up to Selic, Corleone, Selic, back over to Anshaw. Anshaw with some space in front of him. Kicks it back to Selic, Konstantin Selic! That's the hat trick! His 3rd goal of the game puts Accra up 6-1. Anshaw just had all the open space he ever could have asked for. Just kicks it right back to Selic, and that's how you get the Hattie. We're going into the 91st minute. We're back up to a 5-goal lead for Accra. Garcia, Ladiver. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to move the ball forward. You can't just sit on it like this. It's intercepted. Corleone. Selic looking for a fourth goal. No, that goes into the seats. Here's Valvano with the throw into Corleone to Druid. Back over to Valvano. Tripped out by Dolan. That'll be a throw-in. And that'll be the whistle. As Akron takes a commanding victory over Sao Paulo 6-1. 6 yellow cards in this game. An injury. Almost 300 kilometers run. This was a fight. And the game, or if you go by XG, the game should have actually been a lot closer. 2.45 to 1.52. 18 shots to 15, 10 to 6 on target shots. But it just, Accra got off to that quick lead, that quick start. They were up 2-0 in, I believe it was like the 12th minute, and it was just off to the races after that. Konstantin Selic with a 9.9 performance. But what a game that was. So this will bring us forward to our final game of the day. Montreal United versus Buenos Aires. Montreal, like we said earlier, currently sitting at the top of the table with 12 points. So they've now been leapfrogged by Accra, who now has 13. Buenos Aires currently sitting in 5th with 6 points. Last games they played, Montreal last played Inter London, where they won 2-1 on January 2nd. And Buenos Aires last played Accra, where they drew 1-1, also on January 2nd. The recent form seems to favor Montreal a little bit more. Loss, win, loss, draw, win. While Buenos Aires is win, loss, 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 draw. Which, granted, in their defense, 2 of those 3 losses were in cup games to Seoul, but it's still a bit of a worrying trend. Buenos Aires coming out in their 4-3-3. I believe Montreal was in their 3-4-3. I didn't catch it because I was looking at my notes, but they last lined up in a 3-4-3. And we are getting ready to begin. Here's Governo starting out for Buenos Aires. Back to Draper, back to Rivara. Over to Gorkov, to Draper, forward. That'll be a quick highlight. Here's Checker with a throw-in to Draper. Checker, Tolly. Couldn't quite tell who he was going for, but he didn't get it. But it's recovered by Draper over to Gorkov, over to Knight. Knight fires. It's going to be blocked. And it'll be a corner kick, which will be taken by Gorkov. Gorkov over the middle. Kicks it only into the sea of green, where it will be headed away. But recovered by Tolly, who kicks it forward, looking for the middle, looking for Vandersloot. Doesn't find him. Recovered by Gorkov right before it goes out of bounds, but he'll pass it over to Carbone. So here's Gorkov taking another corner. Over the middle. It's headed. That looked like that went in, but it must have only grazed the side. Here's Montreal with their own chance at a corner kick. That's headed. That's going to be over the goal. So lots of opportunities here, just none getting converted. We're already going into the 25th minute. This game is starting to fly by. Nothing really doing. Oh, here's another corner kick for Montreal, taken by Lexington. Over the middle, looking for justice, but it's headed away by of Katarina. Recovered by Matthew, excuse me. Passed over to Carbone, over to Calavera, up to Matthew. Over to Biscuit. Williams. Biscuit. Up to Papastathopoulos. Papastathopoulos. That's a mouthful of a name. Corner kick taken by Lexington. Headed away by Of Katarina again, winning yet another header. Of Katarina has won 88% of headers so far this season. Vandersloth evades a challenge, gets it over to the corner to cross over to Yates. Gets it to Caverno, but it's going to be blocked. Matthew clears it out. Here's a free kick from Gorkov. Going to be headed out. Gorkov passes it all the way back to Checker. Brings it back into the Montreal side of the field. Guevara to Gorkov to Knight. Knight back to Gorkov over the 8. Can't get it. Back to Tali. No. Matthew clears it out again. Here's Justice. Montreal has a chance to get something done now, but he kicks it all the way back to Matthew. It looks like we're not going to get anything done right now. Papastathopoulos picks up a yellow card, by the way. Peterson throws into Noir. Over to Carbone, over to Calavera, back forward to Noir. Fires off the crossbar. Beats the keeper, can't beat the crossbar. 43rd minute. Here is the free kick by Gorkov over the middle. Looking, can't get it. Shot saved by Stop Shots, who stopped the shot. We have another corner kick from Gorkov again. Over the middle, looking for Gaverno. Can't find him. Headed away. 1 minute of stoppage time. Nothing's going to happen. We're hitting halftime. Score 0-0. Look at the XG. We have .32 XG for Montreal United, .93 for Buenos Aires. Other stats of note, 23% cross completion. Oh, okay. Well, we don't get to look at stats anymore. So we go to halftime. I don't think there's very much you can, say here. It's been very closely contested. There's not really been... Oh, okay, we're getting right back into it. Looks like no one's making any substitutions. So we're right back into it. Same 22 on the field as Montreal United starts with the ball, but gives it away to Vandersloth. Here's Knight with the throw into Yates. Fires, but it's saved by Stop Shots. That'll be a corner kick, which I expect to be taken by Gorkov. That is correct. Gorkov looks like he's looking for Gaverno, headed, but saved. Gaverno won the header this time, but just doesn't quite get it in the goal. Here's another free kick by Gorkov. Looked like he was looking for Tally that time. It ends up in the feet of Katarina. Over to Guevara. To Gorkov. To Knight. Forward to Yates. Open shot. Gaverno. Open shot. Saved by Stop Shots. Gaverno offside anyway. Montreal takes it out. Lexington kicks it forward to Papastathopoulos. Over the Biscuit. Over to Justice. To Noir. Up to Biscuit. Open shot. No. Oak down. Saves it. It's going to roll out. That's going to be a corner kick. Taken by Lexington. I feel like we've seen a lot of corner kicks today. Lexington looking for Williams. Finds him, but it's off the post again. And we stay 0-0. And we have another injury. An injury in all 3 games today. Here is Edwin Vandersloth, who will have to come out. Ariano Bundelia, looks like, will be coming in. Here's a throw-in from Peterson to Matthew. Kicks it over to Peterson. Matthew to Calavera. To Carbone. Over to Noir. Back to Peterson. Does some fancy footwork. Gets it back to Matthew. Over to Carbone. Over to Peterson again. We are now getting back to my favorite part of soccer, triangle formation. Biscuit to Papastathopoulos, who's playing injured now. Shot saved by Oakdown. Noir recovers it. Peterson off the crossbar again. And that will be a goal kick. Fast forwarding now into the 73rd minute, 74th minute. Time is running out if one of these teams wants to pick up 3 points from this game. Here's Tolly moving it forward to Governo. Governo fires. It's slid at by Williams, who will contest it, and recovered by Lexington over the Carbone, but that'll be the end of that. 80th minute now, thrown from Papastathopoulos, who, that was a very risky slide by Draper. That could have easily been called for a foul, which would have been a very key penalty, but no call there. We're in 3 minutes of stoppage time. Montreal United, they got to hurry if they want to get 3 points from this. Here's Peterson, back to Carbone. Over to Peterson. He's going to lose possession of it, but recover it. Forward to Calavera, cleared away by Checker, and that is going to be the game. Montreal United and Buenos Aires play to a 0-0 draw. And boy, the implications that will have on the standings. Very close game, even by XG. Buenos Aires nearly edges out Montreal, 1.27 to 1.12. 14-13 in favor of Montreal on shots, 5-4 in favor of Buenos Aires in on target shots. Both keepers had a very good game. And with that, our week of Division 2 play has concluded. So with our results today, that's actually going to push Accra up into the top of the table on goal differential, because they now have 13 points and a plus 10 differential. They will be tied with Montreal United, who also has 13 points, and they have plus 6 differential. And in third, we are looking at Kaapstad, who have 11 points. Sao Paulo will be in fourth with 10 points. Buenos Aires in fifth with 7 points. And Inter London still bringing up the rear with only 3 points. But this promotion battle is getting a bit tight. We only have a couple weeks to go, I believe. And it's, I think realistically, you could see any of those top 4 teams promoting. Buenos Aires maybe could sneak in, but they would need a lot of help to get there. But that's going to wrap it up here for me. If you took the time to watch this with me, thank you for taking the time to watch. It was a fun time, some close games, and until we meet again, I've been Brian, and thank you again for coming out, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Good night.